Hey guys, and welcome to the final installment of Updated Builds, a series of videos where I went back over Warframes that I already made one or more videos about and I brought their builds up to date. Now we're gonna finish the series off by looking at Inaros because he was the last frame that I did a normal build video for before I started the series, so it only made sense for me to cover him last. This video is also going to be fairly short because not much has changed. I'm still using the Lazy Tank 3.0 build for most of the content that I do with Inaros, but I decided to throw in a Desiccation build that I use every now and then, which is basically the same build, it just trades off a little bit of the tankiness for more crowd control. And let's start it off with the Lazy Tank setup, which is running Sprint Boost in its Aura and Rush in its Exile slot. This is a really cool combo that I really enjoy on Inaros because it gives you a ton of sprint speed, and it kind of makes sense because you want to blind enemies, then run up to them and do a finisher. After that, I'm running Gladiator Resolve, Primed Vigor, Vitality, Steel Fiber, Armored Agility, and Gladiator Aegis to get as much health and armor as possible with a little bit of extra sprint speed from Armored Agility as well, and this gives me an absolutely stupid amount of effective health. After that, I'm running Negation Swarm, which augments Scarab Swarm to give you status immunity as well. This is really good, though it will drain 3% of your Scarab Swarm every time you would normally be hit by a status proc. And to top it all off, I'm using Hunter Adrenaline, which will convert 45% of all the damage done to your health into energy. This will basically keep you at full energy at all times, because Inaros doesn't have any shield, so as soon as you take damage, it will generate some energy for you. This setup is so stupidly tanky, it makes dying feel really weird, which is an awfully odd sentence, but whenever you die, which happens like once a week with a setup like this, you're just like, whoa! Okay, I wasn't aware that this can actually happen with this setup. It just has so much health and pretty much infinite healing thanks to Inaros' passive. All you have to do is bring a dagger with covered lethality, so you one-shot anything that you perform a finisher on, which works really well with Inaros' passive, which heals him every time he kills an enemy with a finisher. So even if the enemies do bring you down to low health, all you have to do is just throw a bit of sand in their face, do a couple of finishers, and you're back at full health in no time. And it gets even better if you can get your hands on Arcane Victory, which gives you an 8% chance on a headshot to regenerate 2% of your maximum health every second for 8 seconds. This setup is just so much fun to run because you don't have to worry about anything, you can just have fun, and the added sprint speed makes it even better. You can kind of do whatever with this setup. You can just run around, guns blazing, and every time you get a headshot there's a small chance you will heal, so you don't even have to do finishers most of the time. You can do what I really like to do with this setup, which is to equip myself with the biggest melee weapon I have and start running around, cutting the enemies down by the hundreds. Or if you like the plains, you can go into the plains and have fun there. The setup is really fast, so you don't necessarily have to use your arc ring, you can just run around, and it's just a lot of fun to do bounties with. And now let's quickly go over the Desiccation setup. I'm once again running the Sprint Boost Rush combo because I just like it an awful lot, but if you don't like it, you can swap it for whatever you want, really, it doesn't really matter. Though I would very much recommend you try this combo out as well, because this setup has far more range, so you're going to be blinding more enemies, which means more travel time between enemies as you do finishers, and this helps with that quite a bit. After that, I'm running Primed Continuity and Reminded for a decent amount of duration, because once again this setup has far more range, so you're going to be blinding more enemies, which means there is more targets for you to do finishers on, so you want them to be crowd controlled for longer. Then I have Vitality and Steel Fiber for a little bit of extra beefiness, though if you trust in your ability to crowd control enemies before they kill you in high level missions, you don't have to run these and you can swap them out for something else. After that, I'm running Overextended and Stretch for a ton of range, and this turns Desiccation from more of a utility that we use to heal ourselves into an actual crowd control ability, because with 180% range, Desiccation can blind an entire room. Then there is Fleeting Expertise for a ton of efficiency, so Desiccation is pretty cheap and we can spam it all the time, and we top it all off once again with Hunter Adrenaline for energy generation. And there really isn't much else I can say about this setup that I haven't said about the Lazy Tank build, because as I've said in the beginning, it is pretty much the same build, it just trades a little bit of tankiness for better crowd control. And if the enemies aren't too far away from each other, you should be able to squeeze in about 7 or 8 finishers into each Desiccation. And that's pretty much all I can say about these builds. They're really fun, effective, and I would definitely recommend you try them out. Now, if you do indeed want to try one of these setups out, but you're not quite sure how to set up the forma yet, the best way to forma, in my opinion, is to simply put on all the mods, and if they don't fit, look for the one with the highest capacity drain that's shared between all your builds, forma for that, and do that until all the mods fit. And I thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and the series in general, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.